All right, I'm back making a couple of recordings while I still have time. Looking at the S&P 500 futures and looking at today's action. Past couple weeks have been really kind of choppy. This week's been really choppy. It's been hard to get much of anything. But we'll go over today's action anyway. We did have the Treasury buying back bonds, again, doubling up. So, we thought that would cause a lift. It did yesterday, caused us a nice little lift. When they announced it yesterday morning, we got this push up, and it was kind of just trailed up the rest of the day. Not too bad of action, but not much to talk about there. So just today's action started out with a consolidation, pre-market, overnight session, pre-market. Had a nice drop, created a new low here. So market opens here at 9:30. Had a nice little uptrend kicking. Had a double, triple top almost. Call it a double top really. And it started working itself back. So this was the low and such a strong push. Pre-market, it deserves consideration that it'll get back to this new low. So I kind of kept that in the back of my mind today all day while I was watching price action. So this channel here probably should have been drawn tighter. I was expecting a new high. Should have been drawn probably like this, and then here's your new high right on this one. We'll just take this here and push it. And so there's your new high. And then you could start this downtrend. You'd start it probably, tight like this. New low, push up, comes back. So, you're starting to show signs that this is a nice downtrend. So you get a touch off of this bull bar top, and then you get a touch here on this bear bar top. So using that, you could say this is the downtrend. Put your trend channel here. And while I was watching it, we have a new low here. We push up above the EMA, come quickly back down. So we have a first entry short right here. We pull back up. Our second entry short comes back and pushes us back below the 21 EMA. And then we end up with this low high here. And this is where I took my trade. I took it, put in a limit order. I was able to get the scalp, and then I was able to run a couple runners down to this spot, which is the first pullback at market open pretty much, right? So it was a good spot. That's where I took my profit for my runners. You could have tried to hold and catch a little bit more. I think I got lucky and just timed it right and got my runner here. But you still kind of expect a new low to hit. So we have first entry short, pullback, second entry short, failure, right? Got a nice little trend here. Tells you need your new high. Come back with another downtrend. We have a first entry short here, pullback, second entry short, failure. Now this one worked, but with the kind of bearish pressure we were looking at today, I didn't take it. It worked for a scalp. ATR at this point was 3.43, so that's 10 ticks or 2.5 points. 0325. So if you triggered just one tick above this, 0325, you wanted 0525, 0575, and it just did get it, right? 2 ticks more, that's what you got. I skipped it just with the bearish pressure. It scalps, it comes back down. So what you have is a first entry short, pullback, second entry short, failure here. That's your scalp. Pushes down. You're not really looking for a new high on this. You only have one touch. You're really considering that the new high. So you're going to say this is the new channel. It's kind of not the best. It was a little confusing. You could put it there and then you get a new high. I didn't take this one either. Just continued bearish pressure. You could tell we were going to be in a range. Just this push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, push back down. So we're range trading. I drew this as my top of the range, and then once we had 2 touches here, I drew this, actually 3 touches here, drew this as the bottom of my range. I was expecting a turnaround here. I'm not quite at the level where I want to take shorts at the top of the range. It's a little more advanced, a little more nuanced, and I'm not quite to that level. So anyway, I was waiting for this to play back down, which it did. A more experienced trader would have played this. You have a first entry short here, pull back second entry short, and then this is the low high. So, you know, if you had taken your second entry short, you got stopped out, and is what it is. But then you get this nice downtrend pulling down. You can tell it's a nice solid downtrend. Then you get your first entry short, pullback, second entry short. So the problem with this trade is that the fact that it broke back above the 21 EMA right here. And when it does something like that, you know, this bar did not close down below the 21 EMA. Most of the bar is sitting above the EMA. Not a trade I like, not one I want to take. So anyway, first entry short, pullback, second entry short, and new low right there, right? If you're using this channel, you get your new low right here. So we're going to place it there just for show. Start coming back. Get a little bump here, new high here. Well, when I saw it rejecting again, you could kind of tell we were in this channel. Not the best channel, but so when you have a new low, you're going to wait for a low high. You can't take your second entry after a new low prints. So what you have is a first entry short, pull back, second entry short underneath this one. It flushes down, and then you get your low high. The problem with the low high is you're right here at your lows, and the low high itself is a 5-point bar. In a day where we only have 2.5 bars or 2.5 points, you get a 5-point bar. It's not a good risk. So we're at 042599, right? Yeah, that's 5.25. Too much for me. I didn't take it. It worked. Really, this channel's not the best. I didn't trust it that much. After that, we go into this consolidation here. And this is where a lot of patience you had to exercise a lot of patience. You're still kind of bouncing off of this support. You could view this as a failed breakout, and you could have took this to go back up. Not one I want to take on a bearish day like this. But a more experienced trader, again, probably could have took that and got a decent, scalp out of that. So we're consolidating. We have a breakout to the upside out of the consolidation. Most breakouts will fail. We have the uptrend, new high prints. We have a first entry long, pullback, second entry long, failure. And then again, we have another high low. It's, again, not printing below the EMA. Most of the bar is up above the EMA. So not a trade you really want to take, even though you know you're going to come back down. So we keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And here's the trade of the day. And unfortunately, I missed this one. But you get a nice channel, a nice downtrend channel here. I was a little sketched by it because you could kind of draw it like this, and then you get your new low. But I did decide to draw it a little bit wider. You have the nice downtrend. You have a push up, the correction. Then you get first entry short, pullback, second entry short, low, high. That's the one I really wanted. Unfortunately, I stuck a limit order in, and if you don't know what a limit order is, I put an order in here after the bar started pushing lower, and my hope was to reduce my risk on this bar size, which I shouldn't have done, but hindsight's 2020. The bar itself isn't that big, 86.50, 84, 2.5 points, and your ATR is 2 points. 2.3, it's 2 points. I was hoping to catch a little bit of a limit, protect myself if it went the wrong way, limit my loss. But what I should have done was put my order here one tick below this low high, and you could have rode it. 2 points from this point was 84, would have been 82. So you would have got your scalp on your first couple of contracts, and then you would have held your couple of other contracts, easily held them. Put a stop down here. Once this started coming back, you'd put a stop here just in case it started reversing. Could have rode it down, put a stop here, and then you probably would have got wicked out right about here. Unless you're really courageous, you could have rode it down here, but that's the trade of the day. That's the big trade of the day. And now you see we're just in consolidation. It's kind of the way the market's been moving lately. We've had a lot of indecision just with events. So this is the kind of stuff we're facing lately, and it takes a lot of patience to wait for the correct setup to trigger. This particular setup was the correct setup. You win some, you lose some, and sometimes you just miss some. And I just happened to miss that one. Congratulations to anybody who grabbed that one. Great trade. The only trade you needed today happened at 2 o'clock today. So it's a lot of patience. If you're sitting here from 9:30 till 2 o'clock, yeah, it can get boring. It can get frustrating. But once we started seeing a little bit of movement inside this range, you could kind of tell we were going to come back and hit this new low, the low that we had started out with pre-market. That was kind of my thought anyway today, and I really wanted to grab this, but just missed it. Anyways, that's all I got today. I just wanted to make a quick little one. Thanks.